2012 was an amazing year for me. I read The Fountainhead for the second time. And I remember the second time I read The Fountainhead, I said, okay, my life needs to change. So I quit my job, and I was a VP in a 20,000 people company. Everything was great. I dropped all of that and joined my brother-in-law, and we started the first mobile CRM company in the world, and I started flying to Chicago. It was crazy hard, winter in Chicago with a carry-on black ice, don't try it, and against the wind of Michigan Lake, right, and all of that. And so we grew the company to about 18 people and then moved to the Silicon Valley after another round of investment. And for about 3.5 years, I'm flying back and forth, working like crazy. And I'm like, yes, this is it. So fast forward, 2017, it became clear that we're going to sell the company. And I took the first chance to say, okay, I'm done. I went out of that roller coaster and I went back home. And I took some time off. And it was amazing. I did nothing. I woke up in the morning and all I did was read. And I did a project. I don't know who read that book, but I took some time and I finished that book. It was a great experience to do that. But a couple of months later, I got a phone call. And on the other side of the line was Joel. Joel was my headhunter. I used Joel to hire talent out of our competitors and other great companies to work for me. And Joel has switched on me. He's now going after me. He says, Tal, there's this amazing opportunity. It's the fastest growing company in the Valley. I knew them, of course, everybody knew them. And they're exploding, and they need to create a new customer success. And I was a customer success expert. So they want to talk to you, and the CEO wants to meet you. And so I was like, Joel, I really don't want to do it. And he said, no, Tal, you have to. This is a golden opportunity. You have to do it. You're crazy not to take it. I don't want to do it. And he convinced me. And I wanted to visit my relatives in San Francisco, and it's a free ticket. I was like, I'll take it. Let me tell you one thing. If you want to negotiate a salary, come to the interview by saying, I don't want to work here. He kept selling me the company, the vision. I said, I don't want to work for you. I just don't want this job. And no, but we want you. I get it. I came out with a salary proposal and equity and option that I didn't really, was overwhelming. So I promised the CEO to think about it. And I went back home and I thought about it. And I remember that thought process, like, I'm home, I'm not doing anything, I don't have any prospects. That makes sense, it'll be a lot of flying again, it's software. Okay, so I took the job. So at the middle of 2017, I'm back in a software job. And it was amazing in the sense that it was 5 minutes from my house, amazing, new offices. I was flying all over, recruiting people like crazy. And then the day came. It was early morning, January 2018. It was cold. And my son told me that he wants to take the car for the day, so I told him, okay, if you want that, just drive me to the office. And we're driving to the office for about 5 minutes, not talking. And as I'm getting out of the car, he says, Dad. So I turn to him, and he says, is everything okay? And I said, yeah, Ron, why are you asking? He said, because you look like you want to die. And I remember that it was like somebody punched me in the stomach, and all of the air came out of my body. I was choking there, but I did my best to tell him, no, Ron, everything's fine. Don't worry about it. So a couple of minutes later, I was up in my office. And I remember there was a deadline of a report I had to make for the board or something about customer churn. And I couldn't work. I was staring out the window. It was beautiful. It's an office, like in the, I think, 8th floor in this business park called Avalon in Alpharetta. I'm watching people walking down the street in, Apple Store and in restaurants. And here I am on a Monday morning, looking out the window, asking myself, what just happened? My son told me he thinks I want to die. And I started introspecting in my head, like, what's going on? what's going on? Why am I here? What am I doing? Do I want to be here? And when I asked myself the question, the answer was no. I don't want to be here. So why am I here? And the more I thought about it, this sense of, there was a feeling coming from my subconscious, it feels like here, right? But the one word I would describe this feeling was betrayal. A sense of betrayal. And I remember asking myself, betrayal of what? Of whom? And the answer was you and your true values and the things you know you want to do, but you're not doing it. So I went back home and I thought about it some more and I introspected some more, really to come to the conclusion, this is a matter of integrity. Integrity is loyalty to one's convictions and values. It is the policy of acting in accordance with one's values, of expressing, upholding, and translating them into practical reality. That's integrity. And I didn't have it. So being in my office on a Monday morning was not what I wanted to do. It was not my value. It was chosen for me, and I compromised. A couple of days later, I made a mental decision. I'm not compromising ever again. And that had consequences. I quit my job. It was the hardest phone call I ever made because the guy hired me several months ago, and I don't know if you know what a cliff is when you get a lot of options, but they only come into effect after a year. I was like 6, 7 months in. It was a lot of money. But I made a mental decision. It's not me. It's not what I want to do with my time. By the way, I don't know what I'm going to do next, but I'm not doing this. I'm not getting to the point where my son, when I exit the car, thinks I'm going to end my life or something. So I took it very seriously. And was it easy? No, it was very hard. I didn't know what I wanted to do next. It was not clear to me, but I made the work, I did the work of figuring out what are my true values? What do I really want to do? What does it mean not to compromise? Compromise on what? So I have to define exactly who I am now. All of the ever-evolving values that I wanted to pursue and how I'm going to enact them in reality. In June of 2018, I started working for the Institute. Just to summarize, what happened since is, think about starting at a point where your son sees on your face like you want to die, to where I have a podcast called The Happiest Man Alive. So the rewards, thank you. The rewards of being somewhat, you saw it yesterday, having a little bit of the Howard Rourke in you, right, is just unbelievable. There's nothing that is worth compromising and giving up part of you. Nothing. I don't care if you make way less money and there's going to be hardships in the way. It's not worth it. So I took it very seriously, and I am the happiest I can be. I am fulfilled. I jump out of bed every day, and what we do in the Institute is just continuously gives me unlimited amounts of inspiration. When I started with ARI, I didn't have the vision to know that this is what I wanted to do. I told Yaron, I'm going to take it for a couple of years, and then I'm going to go back maybe to do something else because I'm in the prime of my career, and managing a nonprofit was not something I thought about. And here I am after 5 years doing the same thing and can't get enough of it.